Good morning, howdy ho! We're on our final installment of the Hellcat Fox body swap. We have a little bit of welding to do everywhere. We got to finish the sheet in the back, and then it's off for wiring. So this is the last installment that you'll see it here, hopefully before we see it running. I know I haven't done an F1 car video in a little bit. I've been really contemplating the front end setup. I don't like it. And I might consider redoing the front A-arms and stuff. It's been overwhelming, and in my head I have to conquer it. So I've been delaying it and just getting this done first. Drill, rib nuts, start mounting some sheets. That's a lot of rib nuts in there. Actually went ahead and I rocker guarded all our sheets that are going to make up the panels that cover everything. So it's gonna look blackish. So Gina's new converter came in.
And you are Gina?
Gina. Hey, what's up?
From Circle D. We got a custom converter made for her car for this year. We even got a swag pack, a couple shirts, got some bolts in there, and yeah, that's converter.
You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
And yeah, that's Gina's new converter right there. Mint. So we'll have to install that when her Mustang comes back over. And we need the converter for her car because it wouldn't get on the two-step past 3,700 RPM. So if we can get that higher in her car, we'll be able to launch that way harder. Man, I just came out, I started vibing and welding and stuff. I got a few things done. We added a bung on the back of this one. We added that tab down there to drill into the frame to support it even further. Added one on this side as well. Put our 6AN on both sides and the rack cap there. So both tanks completely done. Radiator is done. Even joined up the bottom radiator hose to the engine, got this 45. This 16 is gonna go to that 16, so that's how you're gonna get the air out of the system, and that's going to be the highest point. This one over here is dash 20 from here to underneath there, which need the 90s for those. I have to put an intake air temp sensor in the intake pipe, so this one's coming off next to get welded, but drill and tap the frame, maybe rib nut it, and then the two tanks are done. And to be completely honest, the two tanks are definitely not going anywhere. This one might be a little bit hot, but I did put some rubber between the frame rail and the tank. It's not moving anywhere. We're just gonna put the bottom one. We are gonna put the bottom one in the frame just so it has a second point of attachment, because aluminum, when it does shake and vibrate and have weight on it, it does tend to fatigue. Now this thing is a nutsert tool. Essentially what you do is you put one of these majiggies on there. This has threads in it and it's like hollow, and when you put it on there and you squeeze this, it compresses this piece and it squeezes itself in the thin metal to give the thin metal some threads. And I'm telling you, this is gonna change your fab game big time, because you're gonna be able to put threads where you've never had threads before, baby. Now all I gotta do is put some threads on these, put these inside these, and squeeze. Now our frame rail is threaded. See, now it has threads. And now sometimes you forget about the little things, because the little things don't really matter, because size matters. 3/8 MPT bung for our intake air temp sensor. That's got to get welded on. So many little things that add up. I finally understand orgies now. Next up, we got to replace these with some dash 12 bungs. Now these are Hellcat valve covers, so they're actually taller than a regular Hemi valve cover. They do have this baffle on the inside, so we have to remove this baffle so we can clean out where we need to in the top and weld that bung in. Pretty neat though. Here's where we use the impact and just hope and pray that the Torx bits aren't stuck. Oh, kind of scary, but also not. Neato. Neato. I believe this will just pull out too. Not like me. Any minute. Dang. The valve cover definitely has a little bit of contaminants in it, but it's stuck on there. It'll be fine. Straight shot. The other side just had this thread-in PCV valve, and I bet you that they make a dash 12 that just screws into this thing. But we're gonna go ahead and weld it in anyways, because we're degenerates like that. Perfect. Sorry, can't be. Might get rid of that little rib too. That's what Marilyn Manson said, I think. I didn't film a lot of that because it was just like the little nitpicky stuff. It is done. It is going to Colby's now. There's nothing else for me to do. I did everything I need to do in the rear. The rear bumper's back on, everything in the front, got the O2 bungs and everything. He's got to do the wiring on it. We've got to get a fuel system put in this thing. And then the next time you see this car, it should be ready to fire. Meanwhile, we can get rid of this one and get mine over here, which I'm super excited about, even though I don't have all my parts. Exciting! It's Sunday. Colby's on his way over right now. We're gonna swap the cars, so you get to see my Fox body for the first time, as well as me seeing it for the second time, but not in a trailer, so I have no idea what it looks like. Oh, Mr. Legacy Dodge himself. I haven't actually seen it like outside the trailer yet.
Because you never come over.
Is this true? It's never been outside the trailer either, though.
I've had it outside.
Have you?
When I loaded it. That's pretty much it. Your camera's not on, is it?
Yeah.
Can you please not? You promise me not to put that in? You good?
Oh boy. It's a lot of Fox bodies now. I never intended to get another Fox body, but this one just kind of happened.
Yeah, Fox is surprises.
Yeah, that's all the extra
I'll
stuff.
come back and look at that.
Okay. Don't judge me on it. I'm gonna do this at the same time as you guys. This is actually super exciting. I haven't looked this thing over yet. I'm literally just grabbing the camera, and this is gonna be our first walk around of this thing. I do know that it must have been a twin turbo car at one point in its life. There is exhaust exits here and on the other side, but you can also see in the frame rails up here that there's mounts right here, and then it looks like turbo drains came through the chassis. Not the best welding in the world, but something we'll have to clean up. The K-member is already in there. It's aftermarket K-member, aftermarket A-arms, aftermarket coilovers on it. It is factory style brakes, so if we want to lose a couple pounds, we'll use that. I'd really like to tidy up this engine bay, possibly fill some of the holes and do some work on it, just to make it look a lot cleaner. It does have skinnies on the front and smoke headlights in the front too. That's quite nice. Looks like it's got some sort of plate here. So no windshield wipers, which would have been nice for drag and drives, but it's something you can live without. It does have an 850 cage. The welding on it is, it's okay. It looks very similar to the welding that's on my other Mustang, but I'm already going into this build knowing that I might pull this cage out and put a 25.3 in it eventually. So once we outgrow the 850 cage, put a bigger cage in it, we'll go even faster. We're gonna need a bigger motor than that though. But before we walk around it some more, the plan has always been to do a Gen 3 Hemi. We're gonna do a budget version of the one that we've seen in the other car. Mine's going to be a 5.7, stock crank, stock heads. We're gonna put a new camshaft in it, new valve springs, new lifters, new push rods, and we have a drop-in set of pistons and rods for it. What we're attempting to do is popularize the Gen 3 Hemi with my small YouTube channel by just showing you how easy it's going to be to take a junkyard $400, $600, $800 motor like you do with the LS, put a couple $1,000 in it, and you'll have this awesome base engine that isn't a little garbage trash motor like the LS motor is. And I love the LS for how simplistic it is, how many parts there are available for it, how easy it was to modify, but everyone's putting LS in everything. Why wouldn't you want to do something different? And Hemi just sounds cool. Yeah, it's got a Hemi. It's already got some 275s on the rear. These are like street radials. The ride height is totally off. One thing I did notice is its stock location, everything under there. I'd really like to put some adjustment under this one because my other car doesn't have it and it really needs it. So we might pull the axle on this one, get the adjustments done prior to racing a season with it. So maybe we'll get some anti-squat put in this thing prior to doing anything and not complaining about not getting traction, because I'm not sure if we're gonna put slicks on this thing or radials, and I'm not sure if we're going to go slipper clutch or conventional style clutch. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm kind of leaning towards a conventional, like twin disc clutch, non-slipper style, just for the first season to get it all tested and done. But I really don't want to break my G-force transmission either, because that thing's a gym. Obviously a cowl hood, that's gonna help with our giant intake manifold that I did buy that is still yet to show up. The interior is, I don't know, a lot of it is here. I'm hoping that the factory wiring is still run for like the headlights and all that stuff, because you need all that on a drag and drive. I do want to get the Holly dash up in there eventually. Probably gonna get rid of the steering wheel, although That'd be kind of cool for, I don't need trans brake bump box anymore. Oh yeah, it looks like the center console's here. It looks like the middle plate is also here for this, so that is good. I'd like to keep all of this stuff, maybe even put a radio in it. That'd be kind of cool. But I think with this car, I have to make it as light as possible because with the other Hemi Fox that I just did, I want to beat him. I'm not going to have the horsepower that he's going to have just because he's got a more stout bottom end than I do. So I have to make mine lighter than his so that we're kind of on even playing fields because we have the exact same transmission, both Fox bodies. So I kind of got to give and take with how much stuff I want to put in the car and then how much I want it to weigh as well. And now Gina and I have matching Foxes, so we can, I don't know, make some sort of meme about that where her Fox is faster than mine, or I don't know. There's a meme in there somewhere, I'm sure of it. And I know the Fox body itself isn't unique, and you probably don't want to watch another Fox body build, but I'm hoping that the Hemi makes it a little bit more exciting to follow along with. I need to grab the keys. The trunk is already set up. Some part of me wishes there was nothing done to this one, like the one that I just did, so I could do everything myself, but it's nice that a few things are done. Also, I never understand why Ford did this. They put one key for the trunk and one key for the ignition. Battery box is already in here. Fuel cell is already in here, but I think, for some reason, I think that plate is steel. If it's steel, I'm getting rid of it. There's an easy way to find out. There's a magnet, if it sticks to it. Yeah, that is steel. That has to go. That weighs way too much because I can see how thick it is, and that can be aluminum. That has to go. That means we can redo the fuel system in it. This is a pretty big tank. We should be okay with that. That's for external pump. Battery box is nice to have in there. Probably no battery in it. What the hell? That is a blast from the past. Holy shit. Oh wow, Nick's gonna want to see that. I gotta send him a message right away. We just figured out it's a 1987, and then Gina said,
You riding 287s now.
because Gina was also born in 1987.
Yes, I was.
Alien Trash Kitty. Just about 100K on Instagram.
It might actually be there right now. Is it
Nope,
there?
99.9 still.
Oh, that's okay.
By the time this video is uploaded, you will be 100,000 on Instagram. Alien Trash Kitty. 99.9 Alien Trash Kitty. She's gonna be way more famous than me, by the way.
I don't think so.
Went out, bought a pressure washer specifically for this, except it didn't get any of the detergent stuff, so I'm gonna go buy that. We're gonna try and push this thing outside. It's like -6 degrees Celsius out. That's less than 32 Fahrenheit. It's below freezing. We're gonna try and spray this thing off because it's disgusting. And I want to work with something fresh. I don't know how good these things are. I read some reviews, some say it's good, some say it's bad. We got one just because I didn't want a gas-powered one crowding up the garage. We've got our Sub-Zero hose laid out. And this might not be a good idea, but we're gonna push the car out and see if we can clean it off in the freezing cold. I just realized 74 days till 6th summer.